אוקיי. כן, אני קופץ בין אייס אטרני. I don't care. אני עושה מה שבא לי, זה הערוץ שלי, החוקים שלי. לצערי יוצא שכל הזמן יצא שאני אצטרך בעצם לעלות מאוחר, בגלל שזה לרוב השעות שיוצא לי. כן, לצערי. אבל היי, לא נכנסתי לפה מאז 2024. אז בוא נחזור אל ה-Great Ace Attorney Chronicles. אז יאללה, let's do this. אני obviously אתקן אם יהיה לי בעיות או כל מיני דברים כאלה. אז כן. בינתיים הכל נראה בסדר, שזה טוב. גם מבחינת הלייב, וגם מבחינת הסטרים. אז יאללה, למה לא? בפרק הקודם סיימנו קייס שלם. סיימנו בעצם את הקייס שטכנית בכלל אפילו לא היה טרייל, שזה קצת מצחיק, לא היה בכלל שום טרייל. זה ליטרלי היה בנוי כמו בסטייל של ה-investigation section הזה בסיום של ה-Apollo Justice. עכשיו שאני חושב על זה אפילו מבחינת זמן בערך. אבל היי, בואו ניגש לפה ל-Adventure of the Runaway Room Investigation Part 1. Let's go. Episode 3 The Adventures of the Runaway Room.
Glancing over my records of the late last century, I am faced by the events of a certain bitter winter.
Ooh.
A murder in a carriage as it sped through dense London fog in the dead of night.
Oh boy.
Though the victim and the perpetrator were the only ones inside, there were multiple witnesses to the crime itself.
איך זה אפשרי?
None could have imagined at the time that such a seemingly obvious case as this would end in such a horrendous manner.
תודה רבה שיש כתוביות למטה.
My friend, Mr. Herlock Sholmes, once said of the incident,
I believe that perhaps that case was indeed
the prelude, the beginning of a long concerto that impressive Japanese student and I were to play together.
Okay. Oh! I made a cutscene!
Amazing. Is this really just a railway station?
נראה ככה.
Railway station or not, I've never seen such an enormous building before.
And look at all the steam locomotives.
זה סחבר.
This country is incredible.
זה לונדון, I guess, באותה תקופה. וואו.
I feel like I'm dreaming.
So this is the capital of Great Britain.
So, where to?
Oh, hello.
Climb aboard. I'll take you wherever you want to go.
Okay.
In that case, the Supreme Court in Whitehall, if you wouldn't mind.
My pleasure.
Okay.
I suppose you're visiting students from abroad, eh?
Yes.
Thought so. Well then, I hope you enjoy your stay. And welcome to the centre of the world, Great Britain's mighty capital,
איזה
London.
מואר, אומייגאד. כן, זה לונדון בערך לפני כמה. 300 שנה בערך, I guess. וואו. אני לא יודעת כמה באמת הכל פה ריאליסטי בעצם לפני 800, סליחה לא 800, לפני 300 שנה. בגלל שאני קצת חוזר אחורה בזמן פה, סתם צחק. 18 בפברואר, 9:21 בבוקר, הבריטיש סופרים Lord Chief Justice's office. Okay. וואו. כן, המקום הזה די ענקי. אני יכול להסכים עם זה. What an incredible place. It's so imposing. It's almost suffocating. This place is breathtaking. It looks like a fortress. I guess. There are some stone buildings like this in Japan now, of course. But they've only been built in a few short decades since we opened our borders to the outside world. An authentic example like this has quite a different impact, won't you agree? I guess. A far cry from the wood and paper most of our buildings are constructed from. History lesson שאני רוצה דווקא... לא history lesson, history question שאני רוצה לשאול. האם בעבר כל הבתים, לפחות ביפן, היו בנויים מעץ? כאילו אנחנו רגילים פה לבטון וקרמיקה וכל זה. obviously. אבל הם היו בנויים פה מעץ? זה כאילו... traditional, I guess. נשמע לי שזה סוג של traditional, אבל... זה גורם למצב כזה של... תקועים יותר מדי בעבר. It's certainly unfamiliar. I think there's more to the differences than just construction materials. איך, בתוך הביג בן? לי זה נראה פה כמו שעון. וכאילו כל המחוגים פה זה obviously קשור לבנייה של מכונה, שזה איך שזה אז בעצם המחוגים של הביג בן. אנחנו יוצאים... זה ה-Justice? ה-Chief Justice נמצא בתוך הביג בן? זה מעניין. What place is this again? This is the Lord Chief Justice's office, Naoda-san, in the Supreme Court of Great Britain. היה בתי משפט בתוך הביג בן? או שאני לא מבין פה משהו? The Lord Chief Justice. הם כבר איפה הוא? I had instructions to report here at this time, if circumstances were different. We were supposed to let the Lord Chief Justice know that we had arrived from Japan. But Kazuma can't. No. So instead, we are here in a different capacity. As envoys, to report the news of Kazuma-sama's death. Yes. And having delivered his or her message, an envoy's duty is done. So, we would have to return to Japan. If we want to remain here in Great Britain, I have to take Kazuma's place as the law student selected for the study tour. Yes, which means you need the requisite qualifications as a lawyer. Which is what I've been studying for. לפחות כמעט חודש מאז הפעם הקודמת ששיחקתי במשחק הזה. מקווה שלמדת מספיק דברים. אני למדתי בנוגע לנושא הזה של investigations פיראטים, ליטרלי פיראטים, ואני עשיתי סט שלם של חנוכה. לי יש מספיק experience פה. Here in Great Britain, it is the Lord Chief Justice who appoints lawyers. So that's the second reason why we're here. To have you officially recognized as a lawyer. It's the only way that we'll be able to remain here in London. Okay. I hope I'm up to scratch. Is that? Wow! מה אני עושה בשבילו? אבל זה לא רק אני, זה רק אני שנראה ממש כמו גאנט. די מגנט. whatever. Good morning. Sorry for keeping you. Oh. I just you are too exhausted after your long voyage from Japan. It seems that I'm 1 hour, 12 minutes, and 47 seconds late. My apologies. Wow, ממש מתרכז פה על הזמנים. Oh, no, don't mention it. We're never happier than when we're standing around with nothing much to do. How fortunate. So, introductions. I am Male Strongheart, Lord Chief Justice of the British Empire. Male Strongheart. נשמע כמו... זה כאילו Strongheart, לב חזק. אבל גם אפילו שזה רשום פה בלי אי. מייל. כמו ישמעאל, מיכאל, דברים כאלה. I guess. Okay, hey, Strongheart. I feel like a little mouse under an elephant's foot. Come on, Mr. Naruto. Don't be a mouse. Oh, it's an honor to meet you, Lord Chief Justice Strongheart. I'm Ryunosuke Naruto from the Empire of Japan. Well, Mr. Naruto. Welcome to London, the capital of our glorious British Empire. עוד משהו שאני רוצה לעשות פה כוכבית קטנה? כמה היה הגודל של האימפריה הבריטית לפני 300 שנה בערך? Yes, thank you. Ooh. Okay. Well done, I guess. So, what are your impressions of our capital so far? How do you like London? Well, I've been so nervous ever since I got here that I can't remember a single thing about the city. Wow. It's simply splendid. Is it, Mr. Naruto? Oh? We had a wonderful view of some of London's streets from the carriage on the way here from the station. Everything is so impressive and grand. I must say I'm almost lost for words. I'm glad to hear you like it. The city boasts tramways, piped water and gas, even cables supplying electricity. שבשבילנו זה דברים מודרניים ו-obvious. אבל מדברים פה לפני 300 שנה. לונדון לבין יפן, I guess. We spearhead every revolutionary new technology in the world. Every visitor to London is astounded. Oh, yes! Astounded is the word. ואנחנו מצטער עם בלקוויל וסטרונג-הארט נשמעים אותו הדבר בשבילי. כאילו, אני מנסה כל הזמן למצוא פה טריקים עם הקול, בשביל שזה כאילו יתאם לכל אחד. ממה שאני שומע, obviously, אבל... היי. אני לפחות משתדל לעשות בלאקוויל. כאילו, אני לא זוכר את הקול שלי של קאנט. אז אני עושה כאילו קול כזה עמוק. וחזק. אבל בלי הגרפינס של טיירל או בלאקוויל. רק בתור דוגמה. Thanks for saving me there, Susato-san. And everyone seems so jolly and so full of vigor. Yes. There's much excitement about the upcoming great exhibition we will be hosting here in London. Great exhibition? Ooh. That's such okay, the חצי גן חצי von Karma, what the fuck? Manfred, לא Franziska. Cultural and technological achievements from around the globe are to be exhibited here in our great city. It will be the greatest spectacle of its kind in history, and it will make Paris' World Fair look like a toy shop. אוקיי, אז כן יש את פריז. כן, יש גם את האימפריה הצרפתית, לא? ה-French Empire או משהו כזה? כאילו הכל היה פה בנוי כמלוכה ואימפריות וכל זה. לפני שהיה יותר מדינות, אני די בטוח בסוף המאה ה-18? תחילת המאה ה-19? זה בערך התקופה שבו אימפריות מתחילות להיגמר, אבל... אפשר להגיד שזה כאילו the height of their power, I guess. כאילו עד כמה שהכי גבוהים לפני שהם נופלים, I guess. Gosh, I can hardly imagine how magnificent it's going to be. Great Britain's capital city is nothing but magnificent. London is the center of the modern world. Even if you do say so yourself. The sun will never set on our great empire. Perhaps it is fate that in these progressive times, we welcome visitors from the land of the rising sun. Okay. Lord Chief Justice, I think you were expecting a student of law for this study tour, weren't you? Absolutely. Mr. Kazuma Sogi, if my memory serves. That's right. The British government has already been telegraphed a full report on the situation. I understand the young man lost his life aboard the steamship bound for our shores. That's amazing! The news reached him before we even arrived. My country naturally extends its deepest condolences to yours. אולי באמת הכי מדויק שאפשר להגיד את זה עכשיו שאני חושב על זה, זה וון קרמה, רק בלי הגרפינס. זה אשכרה וון קרמה בלי גרפינס עכשיו שאני חושב על זה. לא בלאקוויל. בלאקוויל כנראה יהיה מישהו אחר. אבל לא, זה על בטוח וון קרמה עכשיו שאני מרגיש את זה באיך שאני מדבר פה. זה על בטוח וון קרמה. תן מודע עושה את עצמו. Oh, thank you. And you honored this appointment specifically to inform me of the news? Yes, We are here in the capacity of envoys from Japan to report the sad news in person. They tell me you Japanese are people of protocol and courtesy, and I say that it's true. And it is with some regret I must inform you that the death of the young lawyer means this study tour arrangement can no longer proceed. If you would just hear us out, Lord Strongheart. What do you have to say, madam? It's about the study tour. Mr. Naruhodo here would like to make a proposal. Would he now? Well, Mr. Naruhodo? This is then the moment of truth. The thing is, Lord Justice, Lord Strongheart, I was wondering if perhaps you would consider allowing the study tour to go ahead. Don't misunderstand me. Britain would ideally like to see the tour go ahead, but without a lawyer from your country, there's nothing to be done. Well, in that case, what if there was someone else? Another lawyer from Japan, I mean. Is there something I don't know? Leonos Kelaman Chodesh. Only a single lawyer was invited to Great Britain from your country. And that was Mr. Asogi. At least, that's what I've been led to understand. Well, the thing is, this really isn't going well at all. I just can't seem to find the right words to say to this man. Mr. Naruhodo! To ruin things here if I'm not careful. What am I going to say? If there is someone else here from Japan who will be described as a lawyer, it's... Actually, he doesn't know. It's Mr. Sato! Anima di Frasetta Classic. Anima di Frasetta Classic, Mishi Mevin. It's me, Golden Freddy. It's me. I can do it. Is that so? I mean, I don't actually have any qualifications as such, but... No qualifications, you say? And yet you still claim to be a lawyer? I have acted as a lawyer in court before. Only once, as it happens. And I got someone to help me, and I was the accused. But glossing over the details. I've been spending every spare moment on the journey here to Great Britain studying. I learned all about British law and court proceedings while I was on board the SS Borea. The voyage from Japan is 50 days, I believe. Not what you call a full education. To become a qualified lawyer here in Britain, not only do you need a university degree in law, you must also complete several years of training. אני די בטוח שזה הסטנדרט. אני די בטוח שזה הסטנדרט עכשיו. I realize it's far too short of a period of time, but I can just go back to Japan. Because Mr. Sogi's journey had only just begun. Coming here on this study tour was all he thought about. I had to carry on and do everything he planned to do. It must sound like I have an overly inflated opinion of myself, but I will do anything to prove that I have what it takes. Any tests you care to set me? Just one chance. That's all I'm asking for. Please. 31 seconds. Sorry. يستكعب بشانشلو كراز مازن. Your opening statement, Mr. Naruto. It was 31 seconds long. Not too brief, not too protracted. A perfectly judged appeal, I would say. Which is a skill that would stand you in a good stead as a lawyer. Oh, thanks. So, you're willing to put these words to trial, are you? Well, I'm all for entertainment. Huh? But let me ask you one thing first, sir. Yes? You say you intend to do everything Mr. Asogi planned to do. Are you firmly set on that path? Oh my god! חשבתי שזה יהיה פה בצד, אבל לא, זה לא הפולו או investigations. The Lord Chief Justice wields the absolute authority in judicial matters, including the appointment of lawyers. He's a thoroughly intimidating man. Judicial assistant sent to Brett on this side too. He's the epitome of a refined Japanese lady and a huge help to help me always. Well, yes, that's my intention. I see. Am I imagining things? Or did his expression just alter a fraction? They're all there all of a sudden. Very well. You have your wish. I'll give you a chance. A test to become a specially certified lawyer. Whether you pass or fail is entirely down to you. Really? Mama test. So, what form will the test take exactly? Tell me, Mr. Naruto, what do you consider the role of a lawyer to be? Oh my god, that's true. Well, defending people, of course. Well said. So, let's have you defend someone. Huh? Your timing is perfect, in fact. There's an apt trial about to begin later today. No advocate has been appointed for the defense as yet, so this will be welcome news. Today? Straight away? Lord Dog Phoenix עשה את זה בלי בעיה באפולו ג'סטיס, לגמרי לא קרה לו שום דבר בעייתי שאף אחר כך נחת לפוג'ינג אבידנס סקנדל, שאז אחר כך דופק לו לגמרי את הבאדג' באפולו ג'סטיס. Do not worry about it. If you manage to secure a verdict of not guilty, you have passed my test. That could be simpler. How do I get myself into these situations? Well, could I ask, what sort of trial is it, Lord Strongheart? Yes, good question. Ah, I remember. It's a murder trial. Of course. A murder? An extremely simple case, I understand. You can't really lose. That's easy to say. But I should mention, just in case, if the defendant is found guilty, he will of course be sentenced to capital punishment. Capital punishment? You'll be put to death? הנה משהו אינטרסטינג שאני למדתי די לאחרונה. אייס אטרני, דיברנו על זה קודם בחלק מהפרקים שלי, אבל אייס אטרני דווקא קורה לפחות בגרסה המתורגמת באנגלית, כי אין עברית פה, סורי. anyway, הגרסה האנגלית אומרים בעצם שזה קורה בעצם באמריקה, בלוס אנג'לס. לוס אנג'לס או קליפורניה, אני לא זוכר בדיוק איזה אחד ספציפי. או שזה לוס אנג'לס, קליפורניה. whatever. נמצא שמה בערך. העולם של אייס אטרני פרופר. כאילו investigations, ה-right trilogy וה-Apollo trilogy. אבל בגרסה המקורית... זה דווקא לא רלוונטי פה, במקרה הזה. מה שרלוונטי בנושא הזה, זה קליפורניה, קליפורניה מאז 2007, עד 2007, עשו בעצם punishments, הם עשו את זה שכאילו אם אתה guilty, היה יכול להיות אם יש לך מספיק דברים ספציפיים, אני מנחש, יכולים בעצם להרוג אותך. כאילו execution במקום. לא בדיוק במקום, אבל executionים. אבל זה נפסק ב-2007, כי נראה לי זה היה יותר מדי inhumane. נראה לי זה כאילו היה יותר מדי לא אנושי. פשוט לרצוח אנשים. על פי המעשים שהם עושים. אבל היי, זה לונדון, A, B, לפני 300 שנה. Here in Great Britain, murderers are sent to the gallows without exception. Presumably, you read that much in your short C-based introduction to British law. We can't possibly agree to such a test. We would be toying with a man's life. I am the Lord Chief Justice, and I've decided it's acceptable. But you can't do that, can you? Well, Lord Chief Justice, הגיוני. יש לה, 100% יש לה הרבה יותר כוח מאשר האחרים. כאילו אין כזה כוח כמו... יש לה הרבה יותר כוח מאשר מבון קרמה, לדוגמה. או גאנט שמנצלים את המקומות שלהם כ-Chief of Police ופרוסקיוטר בהתאמה בשביל לעשות פשעים שכאילו... בסופו של דבר עוצרים אותם, I guess. אבל ככל שיש... Absolute power corrupts absolutely. זה מה שאני אומר פה. Absolute power corrupts absolutely. לא משנה עד כמה אתה בא בעצם לטובה, ככל שיש לך הרבה יותר כוח, ככה אתה יכול, ככה יוצא לא משנה מה שתנצל את הכוח הזה יותר לרעה. זה מה שקורה פה. There is no need to overcomplicate this. All you have to do is to ensure that you don't lose. The defendant may live or die depending how well I perform in court. If I lose, they'll be hanged. Oh boy, אני רגיל... אוי לא. לא! לא! דאמת! הסטטיק! אז זה חוזר! פאק! אני עושה את רק ל3 דקות! אז חפר ל3 דקות, איזה 2.5! בגלל הדיסקאוט שלי! על האקסט גיים, זה אמור להיות אקסט גיים. או! זה ככה נראה קול. אקסט גיים. רק לרגע. anyway, על מה שדיברנו קודם. אוקיי, עכשיו זה נראה בסדר. לפחות הלייב הוא בסדר, הוא לא נחתך או כל זה. אוקיי. אולי לא משהו אקספליישן שאני יכול להגיד על משהו שהוא יותר מודרני. נכון הפלאשינג לייטס שיש אצל קיי פרדיי? מתי שהיא משתמשת בליל ת'יף? בערך זה, אבל כל המסך. זה מה שקורה לי מתי שאני משחק במשחק הזה. anyway, בחזרה לקומנט פה. זה קצת אולי אקסטרימי מדי בשביל אקסקיושן. אני יותר חושב על הדשופ כמו שיש בפיירטס אוף דה קריביאן. לא אשכרה לתלות אותו למוות, אומייגאד. לא אשכרה לעשות סיורי. Oh boy. Mr. Naruto, you've come to be claiming to be a lawyer. You've come to me claiming to be a lawyer. If you want me to take you seriously, you need to prove you're willing to do a lawyer's job. And you say you intend to see through the will of your compatriot, Mr. Asogi. I would like to understand just how far you're willing to go in order to make that happen. He's testing my resolve. What's the matter? You're falling silent. I'm sorry, but time is pressing. The trial begins shortly. I need an answer from you now. What's it to be? What do I say? Do I agree to this absurd test? Man, I think I won't do it, אשכרה ייתן bad ending. אבל אני לא אעשה את זה, מקסימום אני אעשה את זה אחר כך. אני אעשה I'll do it. גם אפילו שזה יותר אקסטרימי מאשר מפשוט לשים אותם בכלא. כמו כל הפעמים קודמות, אבל... fuck it! Alright then. If I have to give you a decision now... What? My answer is... I can't do it! Can't get the words out! 15 seconds. Decision making needs work if you want to become a lawyer. That was too slow. So, it's as I suspected, is it? Sorry. You have noble intentions, but lack the resolve to see them through. Can. The test is cancelled. Thank you for stopping by. What? Go and acquire your ticket for passage back to the east tomorrow. This conversation is over. Yes, Lord Strongheart. What? Thank you for offering me a chance. Mr. Naruto. I'm sorry, Mrs. Sato. But what could I do? What? It's alright. I understand. You do? It's an easy decision to choose whether to defend a man in these circumstances. Now, Monty-can! But resolve has absolutely nothing to do with it. What are you trying to say, madam? I think what Mrs. Sato means is that no matter how bad I would like to be recognized as a lawyer and stay here in Great Britain, to risk another man's life by cheating his one and only chance at a trial so trivially would be utterly unforgivable. And I feel exactly the same way. I know, fuck it! I'm sure that the fellow won't see this trial as a test, as some kind of experiment. A lawyer may fight for his clients in court day after day, but for each one of those clients, the particular day they stand in the dock may be the only chance they have to fight to prove their innocence. No, I was wrong. I'm not qualified to do that job yet. I'm sorry for wasting your precious time, Lord Chief Justice. I don't want to fuck it! Wait, Mr. Naoto! Oh my god. Please, say the last letter. Oh, was there something else? It's approximately 20 minutes by carriage to the Old Bailey from here. Old Bailey? If you leave immediately, you should still be there in time. But I just said that! I was quite serious in what I told you. The defendant in this case has literally no one to advocate for him. What? At this point, we can't hope to find someone to represent him. The trial will begin without the defense. And if that happens, there's only one possible outcome. Guilty. Guilty. As a whole. He will receive the most severe sentence the judge can pass down. But that's awful! But that is the truth. Why does it have to be like this? Please don't expect an answer to every question. The cold, hard truth of the matter is that there's only one person now with a chance to save this man from a very miserable end. And that is you. Really his only hope? Oh my god. I'm really his only hope? So, what do you say now, madam? Me? What do you mean, Lord Strongheart? You said it was an easy decision to choose whether to defend a man in these circumstances. And I agree. But in my estimation, it is purely and simply a matter of resolve. Oh. Our time is up here. I have a meeting to attend. I must leave in 2 minutes and 16 seconds. So, venture into our great city and enjoy yourselves. He's gone. The Old Bailey. Kadima. קדימה. If we're going to do this, Mr. Naruto, we must leave at once. Go. Oh! Not as good a trial. Classic. יפה. ב-18 בפברואר 945, The Old Bailey, Defendant's Antechamber. לא Defendant Lobby? Okay. Oh, thank goodness. We're in time. There's still 15 minutes until the trial begins. Yoffi. I never knew a horse-drawn carriage could go so fast. I thought my teeth were going to rail loose. Did you hear what I said to the driver when we climbed aboard? Get us to our destination in 5 minutes, driver. And there's a guinea in it for you. It's one of my favorite lines from the Sherlock Holmes stories, and it worked quite perfectly. I'm not so sure why you're so pleased. I thought we were going to die, and we had to pay gold for the privilege. At least we arrived here before the trial started. Guess. Yeah, I suppose there's that. Anyway, I don't understand it. The court clerk said the defendant should be here, but there's no sign of him at all. Careful. So this is the Old Bailey. In this room for defendants to wait in is grand. You're right, Mr. Naruto. I'm feeling tense, that's all. This place gives me the same sense of foreboding that I remember from the Supreme Court in Japan. An oppressive air, almost as if the building itself is going to crush whoever is about to be sentenced. It feels like only yesterday that I was the one about to be crushed. Yes, whoever the man you're going to defend is, I imagine he's feeling very alone at this moment. Oh. Okay. Irish, I guess. Whoa! Okay. Manena says it. Good morning to you, madam. Sir, what are you doing here, following me here? Things are very desperate, are they? Sorry. Would you look at this expressionless faces? From the East, are you? We're from Japan, yes. Ah, Japan, is it? Right, say no more. So, how much do you need? אין לי שום דרך לעשות Irish accent. ואני מנחש שאתה defendant. No. We're just here because... No need to explain, fella. I've been there myself, so I have. No place to go, nothing to eat, barely a penny to your name. And only whiteys in a strange, faraway land. Well, actually... we haven't found a place to stay yet. No. This grand. Let me start by giving you 1,000 guineas. Say nothing now. 1,000 guineas? Please, Mrs. Sato, you don't have to shout. But 1,000 guineas is an entire mansion, the most prestigious area of Tokyo. זה כלום. זה כלום. אם גיניס מדבר פה על זהב, אז כאילו... 1,000 קילו, I guess, של זהב. אני לא בטוח בדיוק מה זה המונח הזה, גיני. נכון, הוא בן אדם עשיר, אבל... 1,000 גיניס? אם זה מספיק בשביל לקנות מנשן בטוקיו לפני 300 שנה, עכשיו תאורטית המחיר שלו יהיה מטורף. אבל זה בגלל שזהב עצמו הוא יותר יקר. כאן נראה לי זה אשכרה כלום. אם כאילו ביפן זה יהיה ממש ממש רציני, באנגליה זה כלום. זה כמו נגיד שיש בעצם בית שבשביל לקנות אותו באופן מלא זה עולה 10,000 שקל, 100% לא אמיתי, בחיים לא יקרה דבר כזה. אבל נגיד יש כפר איפשהו ששם יש בית או בקתה שעולה בעצם 10,000 שקל בשביל לגור בו. אבל אז אחר כך אתה עובר לעיר ו10,000 שקל שאתה צריך לקנות בית בכפר, ה10,000 שקל בעיר יהיה מספיק רק למשכנתה וארנונה וכל זה. אפילו לא בשביל לקנות את הבית. זה רק בשביל שתוכל להשתמש בבית הזה לעוד חודש. או אפילו דירה, טכנית, I guess. אז כן, המחירים פה הם פשוט... מה? זה הדוגמה שיש פה. What? This is nothing to me at all. I like to ensure I have sufficient funds to weather a rainy day, you see. I have enough wealth to buy the city of London 2 or 3 times over. Okay, I get it. That's your lala. Could my train even fall in one day? Well, even so, we could possibly accept such a large number. Wow. Maybe better than that. Large sum of money. Ah! That hit me in the eye. Oh, get me along, fella. I'm not giving it, no strings attached. I'll be wanting you to do something for me. Oh? To be honest, it's a little embarrassing. The trial that's about to begin, you see, is for me good self here. I'll be in the dock. Let's get our defendant. So now, what I want you to do is come along with me and stand there beside me. Officially, you'll be my lawyer, but that's just a little detail now. Oh, well, the thing is... Don't worry about a thing. All you have to do is stand up there next to me. Nothing more. Otherwise, you see, the trial's gonna start without me having any kind of representation at all. So it was true. The Lord Chief Justice wasn't making it all up. I'm terribly sorry to have to ask, but does that mean you're the defendant in this trial? Ken, obviously. מעניין, זה שקל להגן על מישהו שהוא עשיר. זה נראה לי first, זה נראה לי הפעם ראשונה. העשיר הכי קרוב שאני יכול לחשוב עליו, שבו בעצם הגענו עליו, אם נתעלם מפאקינג אורקות, זה... נו, איך קוראים לו? מדנגארד. מדנגארד הוא הכי קרוב שאני יכול לחשוב עליו, והוא יצא גילטי! Blustering blazes! Do you not know who I am? Me? One of London's biggest names? No. Oh, sorry. We've just arrived in the city, you see. Only just arrived. I see. I suppose there's an altogether impossible. Well, just next to Hyde Park there, in the center of London, is another beautiful park. Sorry? A park? What? This is called McGilded Park. Full of blossoming flowers in the spring and the singing birds and whatnot. I donated it to the city, so I did. Ah, an entire park? In central London? The city of smiles. That's my vision for London. There's nothing that Magnus McGilded wouldn't do for the city and its square for people. And square old people. Magnus McGilded. 48, wow. The defendant in this case is an incredibly wealthy philanthropist with a wonderful reputation in London. I have to defend him as the test of my worthiness to become a lawyer. Okay. That's amazing! I mean, really extraordinary! Ah, but... now they have the gall to say I'm good for nothing come none. Me, Magnus McGilded! What is the matter with the London police, I ask you? Alright, don't pass out. Mr. Naruhodo? Perhaps now would be a good time to introduce ourselves. While the gentleman catches his breath. Good idea. Mr. McGilded, the thing is, we're actually here in London to study British law. We're law students on a study tour from Japan, you see. Come up, I'm with the chef. So, if you don't have a lawyer for the trial yet, and you'll be happy to put yourself in our hands, we'll do our best. What was it I have to say, you daft digit? I'll give you 1,000 guineas to stand up and down next to me, haven't I? Well, yes, but I wasn't really offering to just stand up there next to you. Ah, I think I see what's going on here. Sorry. I know what you're thinking. This chancer of a fella claims to have more money than the Queen. What? But if that's true, why the blazes get he had the finest lawyer in all of England? Huh. שאלה טובה. הוא די עשיר, אז למה שהוא לא ישיג לעצמו עורך דין? שאלה טובה, האמת. Because he did it. That's the only explanation. Well... well... מעיין הגש! קטע, אנחנו צריכים את ה-not guilty. Not at all, I guess. Not at all. Although, it is a little strange, to be honest. Why don't you have a lawyer? Why you don't have a lawyer, I mean? That would be the fault of the Reaper. Sorry. Did he just say Reaper? Oh wow, מישהו לוקח את הריפר. לא, סליחה, ריפר בא לפה, לוקח את הנשמה שלך, מעביר אותך מאיפה אני יודע, כי... לא, זה לא באמת קיים. אנשים מתים פשוט קבורים וזהו. I, the Grim Reaper of the Bailey, Lord Bag Van Zix. He's a prosecutor. Oh boy, a prosecutor. Obviously. The prosecutor is the Grim Reaper? לא, השם שלו נראה ברק ון זיקס, לא? When Van Zix stands for the prosecution, they call the accused his sacrificial lambs. And to this day, in every single trial in which he's been the prosecutor, the accused has been damned. What? So, it's reached a desperate situation where there is no one willing to stand in defense against the fella at all. You could say he's a living legend of the Old Bailey. Goodness, Lord Barak Van Zix. He must be an exceptionally talented prosecutor then. Talent isn't the word you're looking for, madam. It's cursed. Cursed? What on earth? What the fuck? Oh. The defendant is summoned and his counsel. Please make your way to the court. The trial is about to begin. His counsel? That would be me. Ooh, this time. Well then, fella, don't let me down. But I don't know anything about the case. You haven't told me what happened. A delicious your face here. I made up my mind, so I had. Sorry. I'm sorry I'd have to defend myself in there. How would that have worked? Any shamats? But then you made an appearance. You're a student of law, wouldn't you know? There's no accident. I can assure you of that. There's fate. So don't get cold feet now, please. I literally know nothing about the case. Or about this man who stands accused. Maybe I should show Barak Van Zix? Oh, okay. In fact, the only thing I do know is that I can just turn my back on him. Fuck it! Gambling with no evidence! But it's a gambling with no evidence! Nick said that Billy Bayard. Gambling with no evidence! Mr. Naruto. That man has no one. He'll have to stand alone in that courtroom, armed with nothing to defend himself. Yes, something the cousin would never have allowed to happen. Counsel for the defense! What are you doing? If you're late for the sound trial, you will lose your right to stand. I'll be right there. It's happening then. My first trial in a British court. Hope you're watching over me, Cosmo. Because I have no idea how I'm going to manage this. Oh! Oh my god, that's gonna be a similar trial! Okay. 18 בפברואר, 10 בבוקר, The Old Bailey Courtroom. Wow. Whoa! So, this is the highest court in Great Britain, the Old Bailey. The centuries of history in this place is palpable, isn't it? It's so different from the Supreme Court in Japan. It feels both imposing and serene at the same time. The atmosphere almost makes words redundant. Whatever the courtesy, determining a person's guilt or innocence is always a solemn affair. May I say something, Mr. Naruhodo? Oh, yes, what? Whoa! Nick? Hello, Nick? Your eyes really look to... ready... Your eyes look ready to pop out of your head again. I know, but I just can't help it. Let's get this trial started! Oh boy. In the name of Her Majesty the Queen, I hereby declare this court to be in session. We're here today to determine the guilt or innocence of Mr. Magnus McGilded. I now call upon the counsels for the prosecution and defense to declare their willingness to proceed. The prosecution is fully prepared. That must be the Reaper of the Bailey. He really does look fully prepared to dispatch his next poor victim to the underworld. Verteidiger Aqua Manfred von Kalmar! Ashkar Manfred! Stronghold אולי מרגיש כמו מנפרד? אתה נראה כמו מנפרד. קראתי את זה? He does look fully prepared to dispatch his next poor victim to the underworld. Counsel for the defense, you appear to be Eastern. Do you speak English? Huh? Oh, yes, of course. Sorry. But he asked if the defense was ready. I could be further from ready if I tried. Yadima, we're not scared. Those eyes plead me, Nipponese. What? What's Nipponese? They shroud your fear, no doubt. Your trepidation. They run wild, clinging to some phantom notion of courage. The quintessential look of a sacrificial lamb. Ah, good shiver just ran down my spine, all the way to the tips of my toes. Wow. אפילו לא יכול להגיד ניק, חושב שזה רינוס כנראה אותו. אבל אני די בטוח. אוקיי. אין משהו שאני יכול להגיד. רינוסקי הוא כמו פיניקס, סוסטו היא כמו מאיה, ברק הוא וון קרמה, סטרונגר טו גנט, וקזומה זה אדג'וורף. ככה אני מרגיש איך שיוצא פה המשחק. מה שמתאים פה זה שאדג'וורף מת. בעיניי זה סרט די אינטרסטינג. אבל היי. No, Mr. McGilded. Yes, my lord. You stand accused of murder, a capital offense. You could be sent to the gallows if found guilty. Are you quite sure you wish to entrust your defense to this foreigner? As I've always said, my lord, this is a grand thing to give opportunities to the young. Even if the fella is a student from some little island off in the Far East. Is it not the British way to ignore the dangers to yourself and give those less fortunate a fair chance? I like to think that acts of chivalry do the great British Empire proud. Mr. McGilded, a fine gentleman, London. Hear that he has done £5,000 to the government today. Oh, please go to McGilded. Oh my god. We'll go again. It seems as though everyone in the public gallery is firmly behind Mr. McGilded. לי יש שאלה. הוויטנס בנץ' הארוך, זה בשביל שיהיה כמה וויטנסים, אני זוכר את זה, מתי שאני עשיתי את הקייס ביפן. מה זה השש אנשים האלה שנמצאים ממול? עדיף שאני אבין בדיוק מה זה שש האנשים האלה שיש ממול. אני אחזור על זה עוד פעם. It seems as though everyone in the public gallery is firmly behind Mr. McGilded. That's definitely welcome news. And he certainly has a way with words. I'm surprised he couldn't convince anyone to defend him. Eloquently put, Mr. McGilded. A most laudable sentiments. Now, ladies and gentlemen of the jury, I'm sure I need hardly to remind you. Jury? You 6 members of the public have been selected for your impartiality. Are you ready to proceed? Jury? זה מה שהיה באפולו ג'סטיס! אומייגאד, אני חייב לעשות עוד 6 קולות, Yes, my lord. The task is to send others to the gallows where they belong, and more than greedy. At the manor, his lordship always says we should dispose of rubbish promptly. Naturally, I agree. And you're coming out here when we should be finished. They never set eyes on me. I feel like, oh my god. Oh, you all like me, my dears. I'll just be getting on with my knitting. Must finish these meats for my grandson. למה בכלל באת לפה? Ah, Mr. Naruto. These people are... the jury. Yes. That's something we don't have in Japan yet. That's right. I've only ever read about it. But here in Great Britain, the court's final verdict depends on the opinions of these 6 jurors. The judge passes sentence according to the law, but the jurors determine guilt based on common sense. So the defendant is ultimately judged from 2 completely different points of view. זה לא ליטרלי איך שאת צועד כריסטוף גאבן? זה לא ליטרלי איך שאת צועד גאבן, אשכרה? כאילו לדריין היה צריך להשתמש בסרקמסטנציאל אבידנס. אבל כריסטוף הוא ליטרלי היה חייב להיות בגלל הג'ורי. בגלל זה שיש לו שליטה על הקורט, יש לו שליטה על כל האבידנס. הג'ורי בא עם common sense, וזה מה שכריסטוף לעג. And how exactly do the jurors give their verdict? That I don't know, but I'm sure it will become clear as the trial progresses. Yes. Prosecutor Van Six. My lord. It's been a number of years since we've seen you here in the courtroom. I thought you renounced your fame. I'm known as the Reaper of the Bailey, my lord. Infamy rather than fame, I would say. But yes, 5 years has passed since I last spread my wings in this capacity. So, what brings you back? Is there some change of circumstance of which the court should be aware? I leave that to your imagination, my lord. זה מצחיק, שכאילו אני כל כך רוצה להגיד, your boldness, כי הנה. ון זיקס, ממה ששמעתי, הוא ממש קרוב לבלקוויל. לבלקוויל יש יותר סקרוף שצריך לדבר. ולעומת זאת ון זיקס הוא יותר, קול יותר גבוה, אפשר אפילו להגיד. ככה זה האינטרפרטיישן ממה שאני שומע בין שני אלה. יש סיכוי לא אפסי ששני אלה הם בעצם על ידי אותו voice actor, by the way. שכאילו שפו אמיתי. So the Reaper has been out of action for 5 years. Why did he have to choose today? All days to make a comeback. Don't lose heart, Mr. Naruto. As you wish, sir. The court nevertheless welcomes your return. Now then, opening statements, I think. A summary of the case, if you please. Certainly, my lord. As your lordship was aware, this is a case of overwhelming simplicity. You must be the only ones in here who aren't aware. Wow! Is that a muscularly Sheena? Sheena Verling? The incident took place in the late evening. 3 days passed. The hour was some minutes after 10. As 10 משהו בלילה, I guess? Oh. The victim was the maker of building bricks, known in the community as Thrice-Fired Mason. Sorry, Thrice? He was a very accomplished craftsman. The bricks he fired were said to be almost indestructible. How about him indestructible? Whoa! The victim's corpse was discovered in an omnibus in service on the streets of London at the time. Omnibus? אני מנחש שזה כאילו אוטובוסים בלי חשמל, I guess. כן היה רכיבה על סוסים וכל זה. 200 לפני 300 שנה בערך, I guess. A dagger that had been thrust into the victim's abdomen is believed to be the ultimate cause of death. Here is the autopsy report from the investigation medical officer at Scotland Yard. Thank you, Counsel. I shall accept that and the photograph as evidence. Okay, ta-da. And one further item of evidence. The prosecution wishes to submit these as well. Notebook for fucking dumb. או משהו שנראה כמו דם איזה שסימן פה. And these are... Good lord! Is that blood, Counsel? Yes, my lord. Seized by the policemen who arrived at the scene. These gore-soaked gloves were taken from the hands of the accused when he was arrested. Oh. What? Mr. McGillen's gloves had blood on them? Okay. Interesting. אז איך שאני צריך לעשות debunk למשהו פה? Yes, I will accept this as evidence as well. Okay. How did I get into this? That once the element of the night was generally in the omnibus died due to internal hemorrhaging resulting from the trauma. Internal hemorrhaging? זה בlunt force trauma. The blunt force. הוא לא עומד מהסטמבוט. הוא לא חייב את המשקפיים, אבל... magnifying glass. הנה, יש פה כפתורים. פה חסר כפתור. נראה שזה בעצם החוטים של הכפתור. לאן הכפתור נעלם? זה אי אפשר להבין. אני רוצה באמת לשאול איפה הכפתור פה. מה הכפפות? This is definitely blood, isn't it? Not the most pleasant sight to be confronted with on our first day in London. Well, nothing will come of grumbling now. No. By the way, is Mr. McKilder right-handed? Yes, I believe so. He was toying with a coin in his right hand a little earlier. Okay. כן. באנימיישן כן, זה היה יד ימין שלו שאחר כך הוא זרק את זה על רינוס, כן? וכאן, אם מנסים להתאים על פי ידיים, רק יד ימין נכנסת בעצם לכפפה. אז כן, זה יד ימין. וכן, לפעמים אני לא בטוח בנוגע לאיך שנראים הכפפות ובנוגע לאיזה יד כל אחד, אבל... אשכרה בגלל שאנחנו יודעים שזה בעצם כיוון לכף היד, זה בעצם יד ימין. אפשר לראות שזה גם אותו סימון, אבל זה בעצם יד שמאל. Pity. If only had been left-handed. I think blood on either glove would be fairly incriminating, really. כן. למה יש בעוד? נראה שיש שם משהו שקשור בעצם לדם אחר כך כנראה. אוקיי. I'm backed into a corner before I've even started. Continuing. פתח את היומן. According to the driver of the omnibus, there were only 2 passengers traveling inside his vehicle at the time. Only 2? Obviously, one of those passengers was the deceased brickmaker, Mr. Mason. The other was the accused, Magnus McGilded. Well, rather damning circumstances, to say the least. Defendant, what say you? Well, of course. Yeah, no recollection of such a thing. Mr. McGilded! To be sure, I rode the omnibus that evening. But whenever I'm in a carriage, I'm taken with a fierce tiredness, and I always succumb to it. Are you claiming to have been asleep? There's the motion of the carriage, my lord. Lilting. Lilting. A little thing. Lilting. Says, and when I opened my eyes again, 'twas a desperate sight before me. The body of a man I'd never laid eyes upon before in me life. Now I ask you, what good-hearted soul would rush to help a fella bleeding from his stomach? I wasn't about to start worrying about big gloves now, was I? I reached out to give the man a hand. So the blood got on the gloves then, after the man had been killed. Unfortunately, that statement of the driver is only the beginning. What? That's not all of it? There were multiple witnesses. To the precise moment at which the brickmaker was fatally stabbed. Okay. Order! Oh my god, לא, oh my god, בסופו של דבר יהיה איזשהו טרול על הקול הזקן הזה. ואיך, למה אורדר? זה איזשהו אורדר אבל בריטי? I guess. When the killing took place, only the victim and the accused were inside the carriage. And there were witnesses to the crime. This is not just a case of compelling evidence. It's the nail in the coffin for the accused. אני לא יכול לעשות אבל בקול זקן, כי זה מחייב את הפה שלי לדבר. Thank you, counsel. The circumstances of the crime have been made quite clear. I think we need to hear testimony from these witnesses first of all. הייתי רוצה לסיים את זה פה בינתיים. Your wish is my command. Bailiff, bring the witnesses in at once. Oh. Okay. Witnesses, your name and occupations. My God, Cafulo. My name is... Well, everyone calls me Pepper. I job at the bus in the East End. Bruce Fairplay. I'm a banker in the city. My name is First. Lady First. Ladies first. Wow. I make huts for gents. Wow. Let's begin by confirming the facts. 3 days ago, a short time after 10 o'clock in the evening, all of you present in the stand were in the omnibus a witness to the aforementioned incident. Is that correct? איך? הנה השאלה שזה די obvious. איך יכול להיות שיש בעצם שני אנשים בתוך מקום אחד שבו בעצם קרה הרצח, אבל יש כל כך הרבה אנשים שהם נחשבים לוויטנסים? That doesn't make any sense. הם היו באזור, הם יכולים להיות הרוצחים. What? נעשה את זה שוב. Is that correct? Yes, sir. Why, right? Yes, sir. That's right, sir. Very well, then. Let's proceed to your formal testimonies, please. Each of you will tell the court precisely what you saw. Witness says... Kaha? I guess. It was the last bust of the evening, so had a few customers, I remember it well. The victim and the man accused of killing him were sat next to each other inside the bus. Then out of the blue, the accused just reached over and plunged the knife right into his guts. That's right. He stabbed him. I screamed, I did. Couldn't help it. As soon as I heard the scream, I stopped my bus and then I saw it too. מה זה אמור להיות חגורה? Unambiguous testimony, I see. Exactly, my lord. These men witnessed the incident in the omnibus with their own eyes. I would like to ask a question, if I may. Yes, counsel. Well, this testimony makes absolutely no sense to me whatsoever. Okay. Why not? Well, the incident took place inside a moving carriage, didn't it? As has been clearly stated from the outset, yes. Well, in that case, how could these two witnesses possibly have seen what happened? There's no way they could have seen the inside of the moving carriage. כן, יופי. ניגש לזה עכשיו. What? מה קורה פה? How quaint! I'd read that civilization in the Eastern Island nations was a good century behind the road. But you're here in London yourself. Are you really so ignorant about our omnibuses? Huh? Tell me, my Nepalese friend. Have you ever traveled in an omnibus? Well, no. Yeah, Only arrived in London this morning. No matter. Our arranged for us all to see for ourselves. The actual scene of the crime, that is. Huh? What do you mean? The actual scene? How? Wait a minute. A carriage is destined to be moved, after all. Presumably you understand that much. Yes. The omnibus in which this bloody crime took place in here today. In this very building. Here? What? The entire carriage? Bailiff! Bring forth this stricken omnibus! Wow. Oh, that's an omnibus. The omnibus. Oh, זה שתי קומות! זה מה שזה, זה שתי קומות! אוקיי. I can't believe they bring something so enormous in here. Great Britain's courtrooms are amazing. As you can see, the omnibus is pulled by 2 horses. It can carry up to 8 passengers. Just a come out, I get it. 4 passengers here inside in the enclosed cabin. And 4 on the rooftop deck above. Every Londoner knows that the best views of the city architecture and sights are to be had from the top of an omnibus. And I should point out to our foreign guests that there is a skylight in the roof, allowing a view of the interior from the seats above. Oh, a skylight. Oh! The penny drops at last, I see. כן, אוקיי, אז ככה הם ראו את scene of the crime, okay. These 2 gentlemen were occupying the rooftop seats on the omnibus when the murder took place. That's how they came to witness the grim incident. Through the skylight. That makes perfect sense. Well, Counsel, this is a first. My years behind the bench, I've never experienced the crime itself being brought into the courtroom. כי זה אולי בין המצבים היחידים שזה אשכרה אפשרי, I guess. אם הבית משפט הוא איכשהו כזה ענקי, אפילו הדלתות נראים שהם יכולים בעצם להכניס את האומניבוס. תראותי, אבל על פי הגודל של המקום הזה, של הבית משפט הזה, ה-Old Bailey, אני די בטוח שאפשר להכניס לשם אשכרה אוטובוס רגיל של לונדון, של 2 קומות. אני די בטוח שזה כן ייכנס לפה. אם היה אפשר להביא אוטובוס 2 קומות לפה. אני די בטוח שזה ייכנס. There are a lot of important clues remaining inside the carriage, my lord. Taking a last examination. I would like to study the omnibus itself as evidence. That is the prosecution's wish. Very well. I see no reason why not. זה רק כנראה שהג'אדג' הוא קרח. כאילו 100% יש פה זקן, יש לו שפם, אין לו שיער על הראש. הוא קרח. נראה לי אשכרה הג'אדג' הזה הוא קרח. אבל הנה, הוא שם בעצם פאה בשביל שוואן זיקס לא יקרא לו your boldness. Very well. I see no reason why not. This omnibus is hereby formally accepted as evidence. תודה רבה. Text. Shut up. A Phoenix Wright omnibus. Oh my god. מפה בא השם של ניק. מפה בא השם של ניק. Holy shit. Job Masters London head office. Now, it's getting come on noodle stand, damn it. Well, let's open the door and go inside, shall we? The scene of the murder. It's horrible. אבל חייבים לעשות את זה. Plus skylight. Oh, okay. Bottom. underfair או משהו. It's quite a large skylight, isn't it? Yes, it's quite large enough to afford a good view into the cabin from the roof deck. And it doesn't appear to be a handle or catcher of any description. So I suppose it can't be opened from inside the cabin, at least. This seat looks reasonably soft, but it's actually rather hard when you sit on it. אני רוצה לראות את זה! זה נראה יש פה ארון או משהו! יכול להיות פה evidence! And only just wide enough for two gentlemen to sit side by side, really? Of course, an English gentlewoman would be dressed in such finery. It would be quite impossible for her to climb up to the roof deck, so she would have to be seated here. A woman in a kimono would have the same problem. Women's clothes are very impractical, aren't they? הן אוהבות להתגנדר וכל ה-BS הזה. Don't worry about it. לא ידעתי לדבר על זה. Oh yeah. This seat has a handle, it seems. Ooh! This looks like all sort of equipment that might be needed to keep the omnibus running. Feeding tops, toaster repair wheels, blankets, horse shoeing tools. So it's a storage compartment for the coachman to keep his things, it seems. There doesn't seem to be any space for passengers to store their luggage, that's for sure. Well, I don't imagine it would be very convenient for that purpose anyway. כן, חייבים לקום בעצם בשביל לשים את זה. אוקיי. פה אין ידית. That's blood that's soaked into the seat. The victims, obviously. Yes, and that seat would be clearly visible from the roof deck. Did you really stab someone in full view of the other passengers like that? I wonder. Well, it was after dark, and there was a lamp on in here. So perhaps the culprit couldn't see anything outside through the skylight. But Actually, when you look at it, it doesn't seem like it has a planned attack. I knew I got the Phoenix Wright omnibus. I can't believe it. The entire crime scene entered as evidence? Well, because is it possible? Yes! Great Britain is simply extraordinary. ליטרלי אפשר להגיד את זה שגם היה את הסטנד של אלדון כאבידנס בגלל שזה היה קשור לקריים סין. I could help myself a lot by giving that omnibus a thorough examination, seeing as it's here. עשיתי את זה כבר. Well, let's continue with proceedings then. Your cross-examination, counsel. Pray, don't expect this Nipponese stray to understand the intricacies of a British court's cross-examination rights. Shut up. Right. My first cross-examination in a British court. Yeah, no. Focus, Reinosuke. Focus. Oh. Okay. What the witnesses saw. Was the last boss had a few customers. The victim of the man accused killing him was sat next to each other inside the bus. The other blow accused just reached out and plunged a knife right into his guts. He stabbed him, I screamed. As soon as I heard the scream, I stopped the bus and then I saw it too. זה משהו מצחיק. אני זוכר שדיברו על זה שהאומניבוס בעצם לא היה לו בו מספיק מקום בעצם בשביל שיהיה שני אנשים. אני רוצה להגיש לזה אני רוצה להוסיף שבעצם הם לא יכולים להיות צמודים אחד לשני לפי האקזמיניישן. אז הם לא יכולים להיות אחד ליד השני. לא. נופ. אני שחייב לחשוב פה. יש גם את האופציה שיכול פשוט כבר להתחיל עם פרסים. אולי פה לעשות את זה? נופ. וואו! זה היה אנימיישן אחר. אתה useless. אתה אומר I saw it. מה זה it? it כנראה מדבר על זה. אני לא יודע מה לחשוב על זה אני כל כך רוצה לסיים את הלייב. אבל לא נראה שאני יכול. אני חושב שאני יודע איך זה נראה בסייפאי. תשעה פעם אחד יא אולד בייבי, אוקיי. You actually saw the exact moment it happened? Oh. Didn't I already testify to that? Or are fair hard-working, safe bankers not considered trustworthy these days? תן לזה בערך כמה. 100 שנה. Oh, no, I didn't mean that. This is no good. Really got his back. Really got his back up. Perhaps you could just tell us what you said in a little more detail that... My lord! Juror number 3. What's the meaning of this? My mind is made up, my lord. Completely and utterly made up. What? Made up about what? I don't like the sticking rich. Never have. They're always up to something or other that they shouldn't be. Every one of them. And that little leprechaun of a man is no exception. Well, he can't fool me. What? There's no point wasting time listening to any more of this. That's my opinion on the matter anyway. What? That is precisely what I was about to say. As the foreman of the jury, it is my duty to set a good example to my fellow jurors. אני רק עשיתי פרס אחד? What the fuck? What the... What is happening here? כן, מה קורה פה? מה זה? Let's see. Ah, yes. It seems that's how the members of the jury give their verdicts. With fire? Apparently, yes. White for innocent and black for guilty. As the 6 members of the jury make up their minds about the case, one by one, they each cast a ball of fire into the great scales of justice, as we saw a moment ago. So those enormous scales fall completely into the black side. Does that mean... Let's do our very best to make sure that doesn't happen. אני עשיתי one press! עשיתי רק press אחד! I'm even more worried than I was before. Very well. The court acknowledges the change in the jury's stance. Counsel for the defense, please continue with your cross-examination. This is a nightmare. אני רק עשיתי פרס אחד! אני רק עשיתי פרס!
Hold it!
And you set up for the skylight in the roof of the carriage. That's right. When you sit up on the top deck, the window's right there at your feet. There was a lamp on the inside. So I had a pretty good view. Two of them were wearing hats and I couldn't exactly make out their faces. But there's no share of doubt in my mind I was Mr. McGilded. How can you be so sure? Well, how do I put this politely? Mr. McGilded is a gentleman of rather small stature. I could have mistaken him for anyone else. Let's not forget that when the vehicle came to a halt, the only people inside the enclosed cabin were the deceased Mr. Mason and Mr. McGilded. There is no room for doubt here. I really wish there was.
Hold it!
What exactly did you see? Oh, well, sir, that would be the passenger, sir. Yes, he collapsed to the floor, he was. And by the passenger, obviously you're referring to the victim, Mr. Mason, the brickmaker. And then the other passenger had that knife in his hand, like this. By the other passenger, you obviously are referring to the accused, Mr. Magnus McGilded. And then he plunged it down like this, stabbing the other passenger in the belly. What? My lord, if you'll forgive the interruption. Juror number 2, go on. Oh boy. Mr. McGilded is a pillar of society and a gentleman. And a gentleman's word should be sacrosanct. However, those of us in service know we must accept hard truths. Wait, what am I to do? Dispose of the rubbish! Oh my god. No! I don't wish to cause offense, but I do like to eradicate all traces of filth and crime. Me. Oh. Okay, yeah. I've basically typed every word I uttered here today and cross-referenced to all the facts. As such, I am now in a position to draw the only logical conclusion. Guilty as fuck, I guess. Zarba. Not again! That's 4 out of 6 jury members who've proposed a guilty verdict. There are only 2 left. I've had it. Every time I press these witnesses for more information, I just make the situation worse. Nevertheless, what we need more than anything at the moment is more information. We're still very much in the dark. I suppose I'll just have to keep pressing the witnesses, and the more sparks may well fly. We mustn't give up hope that we'll uncover something that will give us a way to fight back. But... alright, I'll keep trying. I can't give up. I just need to keep calm and listen to the witnesses' statements again. Right. So, when it happened, the only 2 people in the enclosed cabin area were the victim and the defendant. And, help me, 3 whole people witnessed the man I'm trying to defend do the deed. I don't like to be pessimistic, but we do seem to be in a rather difficult situation here. What am I supposed to think here? Is Mr. McGilded really innocent? Or could it be... Look, my man, God, Ashkara, wow. Before we jump to conclusions, our first task should be to gather information. We need to understand the case better than we do at the moment. Yes, you're absolutely right. Let's listen to this witness statements again. A little more carefully this time.
Hold it!
Yes, I think it was sometime after 10, wasn't it? Oh yes, sir, that's right. Sir, yes. It was so cold, it was so freezing in fact. And you had 4 passengers on board at the time. Is that correct? Yes, that's right, sir. Not traveling in the same part of the bus, of course, no. And there were no other passengers when the incident took place. No one alighted, for example. What right with that, sir? No other passengers like that. No, none. So nobody fled the scene of the crime then. I have to say, the boss insists on it running. He does it every evening. That plus the bus of the day. But I do wonder sometimes if it's altogether all worthwhile. Yes, sorry to say. What do you mean by that? Well, with it being so cold and everything, they're only making 20 pence an hour, you see. I'm only making 20 pence. Yes, I spent that much at the pub on the way home, just trying to warm up again. טרק אותך פה. וכן, אני משתמש בטריק של investigations, אני משתמש בגלגל. He stabbed him, you say? And you were sitting up on the roof deck, were you? Yes, that's right, sir. I was up on the roof seats. I remember seeing the little gent sitting next to the fellow that was stabbed. I'd been thinking about a new hat design, you see. So I was just gazing absent-mindedly around. But then I happened to look down for the skylight. It was sticking right out of his belly. That huge, great knife. A grave sight indeed. Ah, that didn't help me at all. It looks like they're even more convinced my client did it than they were before. It appears to have made everyone even more dubious that Mr. McGilden is telling the truth. If only we had some evidence to counter their suspicion. Mr. First! Oh, yes, sir. Is this the knife you saw? Oh, good grief, yes, that's it. The very one, sir. Huh. Is that? Yes, counsel. This is the blade that was driven into the victim's belly like a stake through the heart. That is a blade of considerable size, counsel. It is. And furthermore, this scabbard is emblazoned, prominently with a certain initial. The letter M, which seems oddly familiar. Please, no. M for Magnus, perhaps? Or McGilden, possibly. Take your pick. It seems this particular big name in London made a magnificent mistake.
Objection!
Well, but there are M's everywhere. Like, yes, like in Mason.
Objection!
This blade is far too extravagant for a poor brickmaker to have owned. No. This weapon of murder almost certainly belongs to the accused. Ah. Not conclusive, but certainly compelling, counsel. My lord, I wish to speak. Yes, juror number 5. Do I take it that you too? As the master of the London Guild of Coachmen, the idea of murder being committed in one of the city's carriages is utterly abhorrent to me. It won't be right to make a decision before hearing all the facts, though, as I said to myself. Oh, any kind of facts? But I've heard enough now. The horse has bolted, as they say. No, please give me that, my lord. Gee up now, Silver Blaze. The finish is in sight. Peppa is a long-standing member of the guild, and I trust what the man says. Oh, thank you, sir. You're too kind, sir. That was a masculine Mickens. This is too unkind, sir. Which now means that 5 jurors agree to condemn this man. Das after. Madam Juror number 6. Yes, dear. What can I do for you? You have heard the testimonies of the witnesses in the stand. Yes, I certainly have. Still got my hearing, you know. Then, pray tell, why are you yet to pronounce your leaning? Well, dear, the thing is, I'm a creature of habit, me. I always go to the park around this time of day and sit on a nice bench and get on with my knitting. As a special pole bazbestas machikura. Can't, certainly. Okay, wow. There's a lovely little park just near where I live. Big little park, it's called. The gentleman donated it to the city, you know. To put a smile on Londoner's face, he said. I can't imagine such a fine young gentleman would have it in him to take another man's life. Always doing wonderful things for the city. That's right, a man like that wouldn't stab someone, surely. Well, when we go to the big old park, public library, out and borrow some more. Wow. How many Londoners live with their heads in the clouds? Do you people not know? What kind of a man Magnus McGilded really is? Oh. לא יודעת כמה חזק זה, אבל... און! אני פשוט מקווה שזה יהיה מספיק חזק. What kind of a man is he? The philanthropist, Magnus McGilded. Has enough wealth to purchase the entire city he claims to value so highly. But where did all of that wealth come from? Huh. Your client is a Shylock, sir. and one with the very darkest of souls. What? Stone the crows. What's that name? Oh my god. Megilda lends money at extraordinary rates of inches, so his victims have no hope of repaying him. When they default, he takes possession of everything they own. He is a vulture that preys on the weak. Yeah, I've never heard of any mention of that before. Your faculties haven't deserted you, I'm sure, madam. So has this thought not crossed your mind? Would a man worth enough to buy London in its entirety not have a carriage of his own? Oh. כמו למה שלא יהיה מספיק כסף להשיג עורך דין בשבילו? למה שלא יהיה לה מספיק כסף בשביל להיות בתוך carriage, או במרכאות אצלנו בעולם המודרני, לימוזינה? למה מגנוס לא הלך במרכאות לימוזינה, סגור, מתי שבעצם הוא כל כך עשיר? Interesting. What possible reason could this man have had to make use of a public omnibus service? You're not saying that the victim, a poor brickmaker, had next to nothing to his name, save considerable financial liability? It will come as no surprise that his creditor was the accused, Magnus McGilded. ועכשיו יש motive לתוך consideration. Van Zeeks נותן פה motive. Huh. But let it also be known that the very day Mr. Mason was killed was the final repayment date for his debts. Good gracious. The brickmaker was destitute. He had lost his house. He had not a shilling with which to repay his debts. And in the end, this pitiful soul had the very last thing he owned taken away from him. His life. By the merciless philanthropist pretender, Magnus McGilded. I don't believe it.
Hold it!
Oh. If I might add something briefly, Mr. Sato, Zaya hold the Chelsea pity. What in voice acting? Huh. You claim that the victim had been lent money by Mr. McGilded. But where is the evidence to support your claim? Ah. The fuck? We're gonna put Yine? Oh my... What's gonna be Yine? What the fuck? Pray forgive the discourtesy for filling my hollow chalice in a court of law. Aha! There it is! Lord Van Ziek's hollow chalice! How can this be considered acceptable? איך לדפוק אנשים עם שוטים וקפה? בסדר. But I found myself in unexpectedly good humor. I heard ladies from the Far East could show great courage, but I didn't expect to experience it myself. As judicial assistant in defense, I am simply doing my job. What a pity that your display of courage is in vain. This is the deputy's ledger, which details all monies loaned by the accused. You'll find the victim's name clearly recorded inside. Oh. Allow me to present this ledger as evidence. And pray forgive for the courtesy of raising my chalice in a toast to the enigmatic East at the same time. Amen, I guess? A marvelous toast, Counsel. I will gladly accept this new evidence. Catalog of people who had borrowed money from the defendant at a high rate of interest. It includes the victim who owned 20 guineas. This portfolio contains all sorts of secrets of London's gentry. Oh dear. Do you really think we ought to look inside? Well, it's us that we know any of London's gentry personally, is it? Apart from our great detective friend, perhaps. Actually, I wonder. I assure you we will not find Mr. Sholmes' name inside. Well, let's see what we find. Gosh, it's cramped and full of gentlemen's names, isn't it? Oh, I suppose they're probably not all gentlemen at all, are they? After all, not everyone in this country is well off. Ah, goodness! What is it? Look at this! Do you see the name here? Bruce Fairplay. That means something to me. It does sound strangely familiar, actually. אחד מהוויטנסים היה בעצם קשור למגילדד. יש סיכוי שזה biasing. Bruce Fairplay, the witness testifying at this very moment. Oh yes, of course, the banker. What is his name in here? Oh, he borrowed 20 guineas, did he? And look, the repayment date is fast approaching. It's possible that this is just a coincidence, of course, but this could be very useful information. אוקיי, אבל מצד אחרי זה גם יכול להיות W, כי זה מה שמיוחד באות הזאתי. אפשר להפוך את זה וזה עדיין יהיה הגיוני. אבל זה נראה ממש עשיר. whatever. Ah, yes, 20 guineas. The victim owned a considerable sum. And the accused made quite certain he had ample recompense. Oh boy, זה יגרום לנו לג'ורר האחרון בעצם לעשות guilty. Well, it would seem I've had the wool pulled over my eyes. Regrettably, madam, that is the modus operandi of the accused. And it's such a pretty little perk, too. What a scoundrel! maybe it's all for the best. Wait a minute, let's figure out this a little more before. I don't stand for nonsense. אני רק עשיתי פרסים. By the way. That was it. The last juror's decision. According to this encyclopedia of British law, when all members of a jury have concluded that the defendant is guilty, court proceedings are suspended and the presiding judge will deliver the final verdict and sentence. That's what it says here. The final verdict. It's over then. Oh! There's a footnote though. A footnote? However, if the defense... Mom? Oh, with the defense. All 6 members of the jury are now in agreement in this case. מה הדפנס יכול לעשות? Allow me to convey my respect for your swift and righteous decision. According to the laws of this country, I will now conclude the trial by delivering my final verdict. I trust there are no objections. שנייה אחת. אומייגאד, אני דואג שהקול שלי התחיל להיעלם פה בגלל הקולות האלה. Mr. Sato, just tell me one thing. Oh, yes? You were in the middle of saying something before. The footnote in your encyclopedia of British law. However, the defense... What did it say next? Oh, yes! Of course! One moment. When all members of the jury have concluded that the defendant is guilty, court proceedings are suspended and the presiding judge will deliver the final verdict and sentence. Then the footnote says, however, the defense has the right to demand a summation examination of the jurors at this point. What? Summation examination?
Objection!
A summation examination? From which century has that tome you have there been resurrected? Oh. Judging from the binding, I would say that the book is at least 50 years old. Any modern text on British law won't give such an adequate procedure mention. It's a relic, long forgotten and certainly no longer practiced. So you're out of luck. Oh. What even is it, Mr. Sato? This so-called summation examination. Oh, one moment and I'll read about it. You would demand the right to a procedure before you even understand what it entails. Typical Nipponese. Alright, Mr. Naruhodo. I think I understand. It seems that under this procedure, you will be able to appeal to the members of the jury. To do what, exactly? Appeal to them to change their leaning and reverse their decisions. And it says here that, if successful, the proceedings of the trial must be resumed. Ah. Okay. Interesting. Make them reverse their decisions. Yes, in times gone by, barristers would use a summation examination to attempt to influence the jury's decision. But that procedure became something of a formality with no practical benefit, really. So it rather fell out of use. I wonder why. Because it was devoid of purpose. Changing just one member of the jury's mind would be hard enough, let alone several. No self-respecting defense barrister would even assert his right to try in this day and age. Still, I don't see any mention of the procedure actually being formally revoked. What are you suggesting? I'm suggesting that although it may be antiquated and largely forgotten, it isn't yet extinct. What do you think, Mr. Naruto? Ay, 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 lo vimos, cabrón, que es eso? Summation examination. Our last possible option. Do we assert our right to carry it out or admit defeat? Assert rights. The defense wishes to assert its right to a summation examination, my lord.
Objection!
London is the capital city of the most powerful nation on Earth. We have a duty to the world to exemplify the very highest standards of judicial procedure. Summation examinations are an embarrassment that should remain buried.
Objection!
Fuck off. But if it's alright, it's alright. I believe it could prove vital in this trial. The defense's The defense's petition is perfectly valid. The court will proceed with the summation examination. This is madness. Foreman, are you and the remainder of the jury ready? Well, I'm not, There was no mention of this in the letter I received, you see, so... All members of the jury will be asked to explain on what grounds they have reached their decision. On what grounds? You must all testify to your decisions and explain why you believe the defendant is to be guilty. Well, my lord, you're rather putting us on the spot. This is most irregular. No mention was ever made of this before. I don't really hold with all this justifying lark. That seems to have thrown the jurors off. It seems none of them have experienced this before. Alright then. Summation examination. A defense procedure no practicing lawyer has attempted for years, is it? Well, just maybe. It might be the opportunity we've been looking for. To turn this trial around. So be it then, ladies and gentlemen of the jury. The court hereby calls upon you to say the grounds on which you find the defendant Magnus be guilty of this most serious crime. Judicial hearings. Okay. There's a finding. There was no one else inside the carriage at the time, so it has to have been him. I trust the driver has an excellent memory, it seems. 4 passengers with fare totaling 20 pence. He stopped the shop next to him like this. Brazen, I must say, absolutely brazen. I have simply typed and collated all the statements made thus far and drawn the logical conclusion. You can trust the guild. Fair fares is our motto. You haven't raised prices about 4 pence for years. This scoundrel starring put that poor man on the floor. It beggars belief. I'm starting to wish I hadn't pushed for this now. Some of the jurors don't seem to have wonderfully formed arguments though, do they? Well, let's see what we can do. We need to get these 6 people to change their minds. I have to throw everything I can at them. And I'll use some very persuasive language. Just a moment, Mr. Naruhodo. Ma. According to my book, that's not quite how it works. Oh? I thought I was going to have to father icy mind with some heartwarming rhetoric about the defense. What? Unfortunately, once the jurors have decided the defendant is guilty, they're unlikely to heed anything the defense says. But then... They've reached some conclusions by their own reasoning, you see. Your pleas will sound like excuses. In fact, it could recoil on you. The more you try to persuade them, the more entrenched the more entrenched they may become. Then what on earth am I supposed to do? Oh dear, I'm just citing what I read about British law, Mr. Naruhodo. Right, I'm sorry. Do you have any idea how to make this work then? Well, from what I can understand, the key to this procedure is using the jurors' own words to make your argument. What do you mean? Well, the 6 members of the jury are randomly selected members of the public. They may appear to present a unified front, but the truth is, they are complete strangers who just happen to find themselves here in the courtroom together. Techniken, nachon. And that's the way to break them down, you mean? Yes, exactly. We must listen very carefully to what each member of the jury says, and see if we can identify any contradictory statements. If we can, then we then contrast the statement and pit the corresponding jurors against each other. Huh. Okay. I see. So it's contradictions in what 2 or more jurors say that we're looking for. In a way then, this is similar to regular cross-examination. Good, huh? Oh, yes, I suppose you're right. Find contradictions in their statements and pit the jurors against one another to break them down. Alright, I might be able to pull this off. No, that's not right. I have to do it. I have to pull this off. כן, הנה. Gamma stop proceedings, counsel. I would ask to take the stand for this. I'm expecting a clear and concise rebuttal. Yes, my lord. Jury examination. לא היה אף אחד בתוך הקארג'. אני בטוחת בנהג, יש לו זיכרון. במחיר של 20 פנס. פשוט דקר אותו ככה. אני רשמתי את כל הסטייטמנטס ואני החלטתי את זה ככה. אתה יכול לפתוח בגיוט שלנו, המחיר שלנו לא היה מעל 4 פנס לשנים. אני חושב 2 ו-5. המניאק דוקר את הזקן על הרצפה. זה obvious! 3 ו-6! 3 ו-6! הוא דקר אותו בום לצד, אבל הוא דקר אותו בום על הרצפה. זה contradictions! אני אעשה סייב למקרה ו... אבל בטוח שזה 3 ו-6.
Objection!
יופי. These two statements are completely contradictory. What? Explain, counsel. Post haste. Oh, dearie me. I was only the jumper for my other half. What is all this claptrap? What does contradictory even mean, I ask you? We've heard from more than one witness that they allegedly saw the actual moment when the defendant stabbed the victim. Now, out of curiosity, juror number 3. What? Can't you sit down? I'm busy here. How would you say the defendant stabbed the victim? What sort of motion was it? Ha! Want to test me, do you? It was like this. Stuck the fellow next to him without even getting up. Just like the prim banker said. Yes, that was Mr. Fairplay's testimony. Quite true. Now then, juror number 6. Oh, is that me, is it? What can I do for you, young man? How would you say the defendant stabbed the victim, madam? Oh, well, dear, as far as I understand it, it was like this. He said the poor man after he had collapsed on the floor. The coachman said so. Now don't move. Take a look at these two jurors. He stabbed the fellow next to him without even getting up. And he stabbed the poor man after he had collapsed on the floor. Is that בלתי אפשרי? Well, I never. They're subbing in totally different directions. What? Where's my stitches? What a muddle! What this tells us is that there's a strong possibility one of the witnesses isn't telling the truth. Oh! But why? Why the dickens would they lie? I don't know that yet. But what I do know is that if the trial ends at this point, we may never find out. We may never know the real truth. Ladies and gentlemen of the jury, Can you really let that happen? In all good conscience? Lies, you say? Oh, dearie me. I can't abide people telling lies. Okay, תודה רבה. Wow. The scales. I don't believe it. That's COVID. Wait. Now here there's a full dress. I warn you, you cannot listen to this man. Look at him. You know, his black suit. He's some devious instant sorcerer using magic on all of us. But that's all. If I could use magic, do you think I would be putting myself through all this? Answer me this, Dark Jinx. Uh-huh, me? What exactly is the problem? What of it if two witnesses have slightly different recollections of events? Zama! Stabbed once! הבעיה כאן זה שהוא נתקע רק פעם אחת. What of it? Let's say that Shylock did stab the victim as he was sat next to him on the omnibus. And this young dandy saw him do it. And now let's say that the victim collapsed on the floor and then the Shylock stabbed him again. Oh, זה היה בטוח לו. This old lady saw him do it. Oh, זה היה בטוח לו. זה היה בטוח לו. Well, what's to say that happened like that, hmm? Oh, בטוח לו. Why are you calling a dandy, sir? Why should I take this knife to you? Why, I should take this knife to you. Why are you calling old? Why should I take this needle to you? We're ready to kill each other now. זה בגלל שהיה רק באוטופסיה פה רק סתם אחד. But could the foreman of the jury be right? No. Neither two witnesses see two different moments of the same crime? Added the question. Unfortunately, Mr. Foreman. What is it, you dumb jinx? Come on, out of it. It's impossible. What you're suggesting is impossible. It's out of the question. What are you talking about, man? How can you possibly say that? You don't realize that I'm only doing my job. As foreman of the jury, I have a responsibility to steer everyone in the right direction. אתה טועה בצ'וייס, אתה טועה בלוג'יק שלך. So, what is your evidence, man? That's what we want to see. I said the two witnesses saw two different moments of the same crime. If you said that's out of the question, show me some proof. Looks like the only way I'm getting to convince him is to present him with something he can dismiss. An autopsy! Some irrefutable hard evidence. As you wish. What? I'll give you the proof. It's out of the question that two witnesses saw two different moments of the same crime. It's proven by the autopsy report.
Take that!
This is the victim's autopsy report. According to what is written here, Mr. Mason was stabbed in the abdomen. Only once. Only once! It's quite simple. The victim was stabbed precisely one time. Which means these witnesses can possibly have seen what happened two different times. Alright, I concede defeat. Yuffie. Oh my god, that's insane. Oh, well done, Mr. Naruhodo. You did it. If we can manage to change 2 more jurors' minds, we can force the trial to continue. 2 more. Actually. There's something else that's bothering about a couple of their assertions. Then that's where you must strike next. I need to pick 2 more jurors against each other and show there's another contradiction in their assertions. Exactly! You can do it! Well, the scales of justice have shifted, but they still weigh heavy on the side of guilt. Counsel, you have the floor again. Continue with your summation examination. Oh fuck. לא, אני לא קורא את זה. Oh! What? אולי אני כן אקרא את זה. So we just need to find 2 jurors with contradictory statements and put them against each other. Which is much easier said than done. Is that perhaps what you were just thinking? How did you know? Well, I took the liberty of doing some research in case you happen to find yourself in such a situation. Shall I read what I found out? It is a little long, I'm afraid. Sure, I guess. Very well. Listen to this. During the summation examination, you will hear the assertion of the 6 members of the jury. In this situation, the counsel for the defense should use P and Pitt with impunity. Oh! נראה לי זה אשכרה נתן לי את התשובה! לא הייתי בטוח בזה קודם, אבל עכשיו אני מספיק בטוח. זה 2 ו-5! הם היחידים שעתרו לי בעצם פה שהם לא לבנים, זה 2 ו-5. Having done so, you'll be able to compare the chosen assertions with those of the other jurors. Select the corresponding button to listen to the other juror's assertion again. זה 2 ו-5. Note that you cannot choose the assertion of the juror you were initially selected. Nor can you choose assertions of the jurors who have changed their leaning on to not guilty already. לא הייתי בטוח בזה קודם, אבל היחידים שעתרו בעצם בנושא זה 2 ו-5. Once you've compared the various jurors' assertion, work out which do contradict each other, and then pit them together to pull them apart. I see. She wasn't joking when she said it was long. The first step is to listen very carefully to what each individual juror has to say. Then I'm sure you'll start seeing which ones might not quite agree with each other. Alright then. Let's get this right now, so I never have to listen to a long and boring explanation again. That's the spirit. אני פשוט עשיתי פה פי מבחינה של פרס. אבל הנה, גם פה יש עוד פרס. אני פשוט ראיתי את זה כאן מתי שאני קורא דברים. אבל הנה, יש משהו שקשור ל-2 ו-5. אולי אפילו אני לא חייב פרס. בוא נראה את זה. פיט. 2 ו-5.
Objection!
These 2 statements clearly contradict each other. They do? Explain yourself, counsel. Me? Oh dear, what have I said? I swear on Silver Blaze's maiden name, I haven't the first idea what you're talking about. According to the group testimony we've heard so far, there were 4 passengers on the omnibus on the night in question. אני פשוט עושה את זה כי זה מה שהיה בהיט. And according to the coachman, Mr. Beppo, it took 20 pence in fares. Quite right, but there's precise details typed neatly here in front of me. And jar number 5 also tells us the following. The fare for the omnibus is always 4 pence. Oh! טמבל. זה מתמטיקה. המצב היחיד שבו יכול להיות 24 אנשים זה רק אם כל אחד מהם משלם 5. והוא אמר שלא יהיה תשלום יותר מ4. The fare for the omnibus is always 4 pence. That it is. The fair and convenient single price. Just the way the London's carriages should be operated. But that doesn't add up at all. In fact, it leaves a glaring discrepancy in the facts. כן, איכשהו יש תשלום של 20, זה אמור להיות 16, לא 20. אבל איכשהו יש תשלום של 20 עם 4 איש. אז זה או שכל מחיר הוא בעצם 5 ולא 4, או שהיה בעצם 5 אנשים, שאם ככה איפה 50. That it leaves a glaring discrepancy in the facts. Why, man? Why? 4 passengers paying 4 pence each. If you do the multiplication, it would be 16 pence. או שיש תוספת של פנס אחד, או שיש 5 אנשים. Exactly. As I said, it doesn't add up. The figures are different. By 4 pence, in fact. Or precisely, 1 person's fare. 1 person's fare! Yes. In other words, on the omnibus that night, it's distinctly possible there was another passenger we've heard nothing about. Finally. Good gracious! This can't be right. The coachmen of the guild are good, honest men. One and all. Just one of this is our watchword. The figures your coachman claims most certainly do not add up. Your watchword, good sir, is a fallacy. או שאני אומר, או שזה כל אחד 5 ולא 4, או שיש עוד אחד. I beg your pardon. Mr. Guildmaster, I think you ought to consider that if this trial were to end now, the news will surely spread all over London. The news that one of your coachmen tried to hide the fact that he lets nefarious characters ride his omnibus. Alright then. How about I make this miserable trial so this miserable trial doesn't end? Well, according to my book here, you simply launch a ball of fireball onto the innocent side on the set of scales. Now hold your horses there, coachman. You're all in agreement, but you have to go in and... Wait till I get my hands on you, Beppo! This is all very irritating. Begging to your pardon, sir. I'm going to do the same. Yofi! Yofi! Oh my god. For the love of Mike, not you as well! A penny can be a difference between a smile and a tear, after all. I certainly can't put my trust in someone who doesn't follow my exacting standards in financial matters. Oh, really? I, for one, think it's only proper that we hear from the witnesses again. כן, אז לא רק שיש בעצם את הרוכב, הסוסים, או איך שקוראים לו, הנהג, שהוא שיקר בעצם בנוגע לכמות האנשים שהיו בעצם, אלא בעצם גם הסטאב וונד, גם המצב של הדקירה, בעצם הוא לא מדויק על פי שני הוויטנסים שכן היו למעלה. Wait, that means 4 jurors are leaning to not guilty. We've done it, Mr. Naruhodo. We've won. Finally. What are you playing at, you damn fool? Shut up your trap, sir. No one deceives me. But we are the consensuous. I said shut your trap. I know a liar when I see one. And the chap doesn't ever dares to cross the threshold of my shop. I'll take this little sharp blade and shave every last hair of his head. What the fuck is someone getting it? Wow, ich. He's telling me he's a barber. Well, in quite a remarkable turn of events, the defense's summation examination has flipped the balance of the scales of justice. The jurors now stand at 2 for guilty and 4 for not guilty. Accordingly, there is no longer a large enough majority among the jurors for me to adjudicate. And the trial must continue. Oh my gosh, I was thinking about that. I hereby ask the defense, prosecution, and witnesses to return to their places. I call upon all of you to continue to pursue the truth. So, Lord Van Six, continue to substantiate the case for the prosecution, if you please. מותר בכלל לשתות יין בבית משפט? אתה לשתות? למה שמרת את הכוס? Having savored the rich aroma of the carmine contents of this hollow chalice, may it seem crass to crush it to dust. Pray forgive the discourtesy. למה שברת את הכוס יין שלך? Lord Van Six. Is it cold in here or is it just me? As your antiquated tone no doubt says, the prosecution may not speak during a summation examination. So I honor the deathly silence and listen to the charade. It seems I overestimated the intelligence of the jury. Well, no matter. There's nothing so hard to prove as a self-evident truth, it would seem. No. And why else would we grace the courtroom with our presence after all? So, let us proceed to the next round of battle. Whoa! Bring forth the witnesses once more! Oh my god, הורדת את הגלימה שלך! וואו, קול! איזה חליפה טובה. Talk now! Witnesses! After the summation examination we have just had to endure. Oh, yes, sir. But I did, sir. Of course I heard it. Oh, yes, sir. I heard it. You, sir, on the end. The coachman. I believe it's Pippo. Yes, sir, my lord, sir. If it transpired that in your previous testimony, you are attempting to veil the presence of a fifth passenger on your omnibus, you will be found guilty of perjury. You're advised to bear that in mind, sir. My dear, Now the witnesses. I hereby call on you to testify before the court again. You will explain the various misgivings brought up to our attention by the defense's summation examination. Oh my god, כמה ארוך זה יימשך? I only carried 4 passengers that night. I swear it, but well, I thought I was told I had to pay 5 pence for the bus. It felt less on the fare, it did. And I saw that bird curling sight as well. It's all too much. I told you. I saw Mr. McGillen stabbing that man. Everything I said before stands. Yes, he stabbed him. Yes, he did. I think so, yes. Oh my god, this is my עכשיו כמה? 4:15, oh my god. Counsel, make sense of this for me, please. The phantom fifth passenger conjured into existence by my alleged Eastern friend never existed. The confusion has arisen from the coachman's sly little cozinage. כן, פרמן אמר בעצם שזה עלה 5. כמו שאני אמרתי, המחירים זה יכול להיות או 5 לבן אדם, או 5 אנשים עם 4. עם 4 לבן אדם. מצטער על זה. לקחתי קצת מים לשתות כי, אומייגאד. 3 שעות בלייב 20, אני עושה כמה? 20 קולות פה? כמה קולות עשיתי פה? אשכרה 20? Beppo! Explain yourself. I'm terribly sorry. It must. Oh my god, what's happening, man? The guilt of fare is 4 pence across the board. You know that. Am I to understand that you've been overcharging our passengers by a penny a fare? It's so cold, and the last run of the day is always half empty. You have been dishonest, coachman. I'm sorry. You're a disgrace, Beppo. A disgrace. And your selfish actions have brought dishonor to the entire guild. If I may, sir, I had to pay 10 pence on the bus just last week. What? 4 passengers at 5 pence each is, yes, 20 pence. I've done the arithmetic 10 times already, but I just can't make the results come out differently. כן, כמו שאני אמרתי. זה או 4 לאדם, אבל 5 איש, או 4 איש, אבל 5 לאדם. זה מה שיוצא פה המתמטיקה. No, that figures. Well, It will appear that one of the aforementioned misgivings has already been explained. So, counsel for the defense, your cross-examination, if you please. I already had the pleasure of a protracted summation examination today. I see you intend to continue the parlor games. Absolutely! I only cared 4 passengers. I was told to pay 5. Filled on the fare, and then I saw that blood-crawling sight. I tell you, I saw Miguel stabbing that man. Every answer before still stands. Yes, you stabbed him. Yes, I did. I think so. אני לא אשחק עד גרייד אייס עוד כמה שנים. המשחק הזה יותר מדי מעייף. אני חייב לקום פה לעשות את זה. בטח עשיתי את זה. סורי. האמת, פאק איט! אני אעשה את הפרק של היום פה! אני כבר יותר מדי עייף, אני לא רוצה לעשות את זה כבר, אני רוצה לעשות את זה כבר פעם אחרת. אני כבר 3 שעות פה בסטרים, אז אני אסיים את זה פה, שזה דווקא די נדיר בשבילי. כי אני בדרך כלל מעדיף לעשות את זה ב-to be continued, אבל לא נראה שיהיה to be continued anytime soon. אז אני פשוט אעשה את הפרק של היום פה. אז כן! כאן ירין, פגש בסרטון או הפרק הבא. שירין, גיימס, מקווה שנהנתם. וירין, אאוט. ביי חברים, מקווה שאתם נהנים.